Hey, shalom everyone. This is Chris Shoemaker, also known as Yehuda ben Shomer, and welcome to the Ponderings of the Perkei Avot. Today we're in chapter 1, verse 10, which reads, Shemaiah and Avtalon received from them, and Shemaiah would say, love work, loathe mastery over others, and avoid intimacy with the government. So we have three things going on here. First of all, love work. Why should we love work? Well, you've heard the saying that idle hands are the devil's workshop, and an idle mind is the devil's playground. When people are bored, when people aren't productive, when people don't have anything to do, they just sit around and their mind wanders and runs amok, and it just kind of opens the door for Satan to get in and start whispering suggestions and tossing ideas and thoughts into your head, and it titillates and awakens the evil inclination within us, and we get tempted and we wander off and we start sinning. So work keeps one from idleness, thus keeping one from sin. I highly suggest and recommend that you find a job that you love, something that you enjoy doing. Me, I've always loved helping other people, and I am a professional personal support worker, or otherwise known as a home health aide. I treat clients and help take care of clients in their homes. So I keep them out of the hospitals. I keep them out of nursing homes and villas and special care homes so they can enjoy staying at home and being independent as possible with their family. And I love doing that. And so it says, love work, loathe mastery over others. So this loathing mastery over others, in other words, hating being in charge, keeps one humble and far from pride, and thus sin in mistreating others. I've always been the type of person that I've been offered management positions many times, and I just don't like sitting behind a desk. I don't like telling people what to do all day. I like doing my own thing. I like, kind of being on the ground level, and it kind of reminds me of Star Trek and Captain Kirk. He was offered the admiral position umpteen times, but he said, nope, I want the captain's chair. That's where the action is, and, that's what I enjoy most. And, I don't want the admiral's chair. I don't want to be in management. I want to be, kind of getting my hands dirty on the ground. Yeah, it's a little harder work. Sometimes it's underappreciated, but I can see the results of what I'm doing, and it's hands-on, and I'm helping people one-on-one instead of being in a management position, because sometimes management positions can kind of forget, when they're in their ivory towers, they can kind of forget about the little peons below, and where they came from. And sometimes they kind of get a taste for power and a taste for having control and lording over others, and that leads to corruption and mistreatment and mismanagement of other people, and we want to stay away far from that. And so finally, avoid intimacy with the government. That's pretty interesting. Maybe there's several reasons for this. Number one, because the Sadducees, they were sleeping in the same bed with the Roman government, and as a result, the Sadducee sect of Yeshua's time became corrupt, and the priesthood in the temple became corrupt. So much so that there was many from the Levitical priesthood and many from the Sadducean sect that went off into the desert and started the Qumran Essene community, which many believe John the Baptist was a part of, and because there was so much corruption in the temple. So that might be one reason. Another reason, let's not be intimate with the government, lest we learn their ways and become corrupt like the governments, or they learn our ways and find ways to trap and control us. Another reason we may want to avoid intimacy with the government, lest they regulate our faith and our church or synagogue and eventually tell us what to teach or else. That's the way it is in China. Chinese people, it's communism, but you know what? They're allowed to go to church, but they can only go to a state-approved, state-run church where all the sermons and all the teachings are censored and ran through the government before they're allowed to speak them and teach them. So maybe this is why Yeshua said in Matthew 22:21, render therefore unto Caesar the things which are Caesar's, and unto God the things which are God's. In Mark 12:17 he adds, and they marveled at him. So when Yeshua gave this advice, they marveled at him. And maybe this is kind of like the first example of, kind of a separation of church and state, so to speak, in a sense. So when in the diaspora, we want to stay away from these pagan and secular governments and infringing upon our faith and our practice and our beliefs and our way of life. So only in Israel, when Messiah returns, will church and state be properly merged once again, because Yeshua is going to be the priest in the order of Melchizedek, supervising and running the Levitical priesthood in the Temple Mount. He's going to be prophet and he's going to be king. All three in one. Boom. And there we're going to have that merge of so-called church and state. Anyways, that's all we have for today. So thank you so much for watching. Shalom. Shavua Tov.